Welcome back, everybody. The day has come for the island nation of Iceland. After nearly 5 weeks of being under a state of emergency with evacuations, a volcano in the southern peninsula region has finally let loose just north of the town of Grindavik. Back in November, there were thousands of earthquakes being reported leading up to this state of emergency, and just as things began to calm down, the eruption finally began last night around 10 p.m. in Iceland. In this video posted by Volcaholic, you can see the exact moment the volcano begins to erupt, as what seems like a small light in the distance quickly changing into an all-out eruption. And some of the visuals that are coming with that are incredible. And of course, after all the buildup coming out of Iceland over the last month, pretty much every mainstream media outlet is now covering this eruption, even though the eruption itself may not be as intense as previous eruptions. In fact, one of the biggest fears was that this volcano could erupt, causing a very similar situation that took place back in 2010 with another eruption that it literally put a standstill to air traffic in that area. But luckily, as of now, this seems like more of a lava event compared to those dramatic eruptions where ash is launched thousands and thousands of feet into the sky. Now, with this particular eruption and the fact that it just began last night, here is the latest information coming out of Iceland. This article goes on to say the volcano exploded at 10:17 p.m. local time on Monday night, spewing lava and creating a stunning visual spectacle. As of Tuesday morning, the length of the ground fissure has expanded to 2.5 miles. Local police announced that all routes to Grindavik were closed except to first responders and other contractors working in the emergency zone. Now, this part is pretty important. The intensity of the explosion is decreasing as the eruption reaches equilibrium. This coming out of the IMO office today. And finally, it says the fact that the activity is decreasing already is not an indication of how long the eruption will last. So in a nutshell, the power of the initial eruption has sort of leveled out, but what they don't know is how long this eruption is going to last. It could be days, weeks, or even months that this eruption continues, which will put towns like Grindavik and the surrounding area in basically a state of hiatus. In fact, for those of you that have been following this story since November, you may have heard of an area called the Blue Lagoon, which is basically a tourist attraction of different hot spring spas. Now, what's interesting about this is that initially the Blue Lagoon was closed in anticipation of the eruption, and then as we stated earlier, the earthquakes and tremors seemed to die down, so naturally Iceland reopened that area, and it wasn't 24 hours later that the eruption began. So that's no fun at all. Literally after a month of evacuations and state of emergency, this tourist attraction finally opens only to be closed the very next day. So as of right now, that is what we have as far as what this volcano has in store for Iceland, and more specifically, as you can see right here, the town of Grindavik, which is currently evacuated, is just miles away from where the eruption is taking place. So although this eruption may not be as intense as we once thought, especially after an entire month of evacuations and emergency alerts and displacing a lot of people, this is still a very important story, and it doesn't just involve Iceland. This involves the entire world, which is clearly going through significant changes when it comes to these types of events. Earthquakes, volcanoes, solar storms, all of these things have been ramping up, and as much as some people want to, it just can't be ignored. Alright, my friends, that is the information for now. I will be bringing updates with this story. Please check out the Instagram and X pages, as I will be posting information there as well. And with that, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much. Shout out to Canada. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.